Hello and welcome TBU fans, I'm your host King05 and today I am bringing you my TBU Week 7 match up against Potato Jim. When I look at his team, he's got the Mega Sharpedo, he's got the Hariyama, got the Nidoqueen, Latias, Raichu, and Celesteela. So yeah, let's get into the Pokemon that I'm deciding to bring. I have my physically defensive Tapu Fini, with Defog, just standard sets, Taunt, Nature's Madness, Moonblast. Just kind of like breaks down his entire team with the Nature's Madness, get a 50% off on anything. The only real problem with this is that it lets Nidoqueen in for free, and Nidoqueen is a monster, but yeah, not too big of a deal in that. I have the Volcarona in the next slot. This is going to be Offensive Quiver Dance with Buginium Z. This is designed so that if his Mega Sharpedo comes in, he can't just go for the Protect, get the speed boost, and potentially outspeed me. I have the Z Bug Buzz, so that kills through Protect if I Quiver Dance up, and that would be really nice to just bop him on the nose right there. But yeah, that's all for Volcarona. It's fairly simple. Next up is my Salamence. Let me try to remember what this Mence is. Oh, right. This is a special Salamence with Life Orb. I have Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, Roost, and I forget what the last move is. I'm actually going to go check that right now. Be right back. Alright, so the Salamence is actually Substitute as well, as I can get up a sub versus a potential Leech Seed Celesteela, as well as just sub on the Mega Sharpedo's Protect if he does want to go for that. It's just a nice tech to have. Next up is my Gengar, which is going to be choice specs this week as he does not have a switch-in. As you see on his team, his Dark Resist, or not his Dark Resist, his Ghost Resist is that Mega Sharpedo, which is not the bulkiest Pokemon in the world, let's put it lightly. Yeah, very strong Pokemon, especially versus a team with very little to switch into Ghost. And yeah, next up is going to be my Azelf, making its first appearance, I believe. Maybe second, not sure about that. But I am rocking the Life Orb Stealth Rocks set with Psychic, Fire Blast, and I think Shadow Ball, so I can hit the Latias. But yeah, that sounds about right. And this is a Choice Scarf Rotom, which is designed to just revenge kill a bunch of things and grab momentum once his Nidoqueen goes down. After that, I can just Volt Switch for... Actually, he has a Raichu, never mind. To completely disregard what I just said, but it is nice to have the Scarf Rotom in the back versus things like Celesteela. I can get off a Thunderbolt versus that, and just Volt Switch on his Latias switch-in, get the momentum, potentially go out into my Volcarona to set up on that thing, because that is setup water. And yeah, generally my game plan for this game was to sweep Volcarona, but to do that I needed to weaken the Hariyama because it's definitely Assault Vest, and I have my Tapu Fini to do that, but it's kind of hard to lure in the Hariyama so that I can damage it with Tapu Fini. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to really do that, but that is the plan going into it, and let's get right into the news! So he's going to lead off with his Raichu, as I lead off with my Azelf. Now, I guaranteed outspeed this thing, unless he's Choice Scarf, and I'm like, okay, I can just go for the Psychic. It's a roll to knock him out, albeit it's in his favor, but it is a roll. I could get up my Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks would be nice, but he does have the Latias, which kind of defogs on quite a few things, like whenever my Tapu Fini comes in, he can just take a Moonblast to defog. He can defog on my Rotom pretty freely. And yeah, so I felt like going for the Psychic, just in case I get the roll to knock him out, would be my best play, as he can't really knock me out unless he's like Banded Knockoff. So I'm going to go for the Psychic. It does 99%, as we're going to take that Life Orb hit, and he's going to go for the knockoff and knock us out. And since he didn't take Life Orb damage, I know that this thing is 100% banded, because no item knockoff does a minimum, or not a minimum, a maximum of 89 to my Azelf, so I would have lived that if he was not choice banned. So I'm just gonna go into my Rotom, as it's the only thing that really outspeeds, aside from my Gengar, which is a speed tie that I don't really want to risk the knockoff speed tie on my Gengar for obvious reasons. So I'm just gonna go into this and fire off a Leaf Storm, but you know, good move, right? So the Scarf Rotom missing a Leaf Storm versus the Electric type kind of reminds me of JBA, Fancy versus Money. That definitely happened, but it's going to happen here, turn 2. And on top of that, he's going to crit the knockoff, which otherwise it would not 2-hit KO me, but now it definitely will, and that's fun. So, so that happens. Now I'm just going to go into my Finny, as I can just get off a Moonblast here. Yeah, as he switches out into the Celesteela, that damage reveals that he is very close to 0 HP. Could be max speed, could be like a speedy set with Autotomize, could be something like that, or it could just be choice banned. I'm pretty sure it's choice banned, so I'm just going to go into my Salamence as the only thing that can really take a hit, and it barely takes that hit. Yeah, that's a big hit, definitely banned Celesteela there. But I do have the Fire Blast, which is Life Orb, and it's not going to knock him out, which is unfortunate. But he is going to be knocked down to about 5%, which means I can go out into my Gengar and knock him out. I could have gone to Volcarona and set up a Quiver Dance, but there's no use really doing that, as Heavy Slam at neutral is going to be doing about 80%, because Volcarona, unless you're invested a lot, it's not the fattest Pokemon, especially on the physically defensive side. So taking that huge hit would not be worth it at all, because he can easily go into Hariyama and revenge me with that. But I'm going to go into my Gengar, as he doesn't have a good Shadow Ball resist, and I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball, knock out the Celesteela, and now I believe he goes into the Hariyama, and as much as I want to get damage on this thing, he's just going to knock me out with a knockoff, and even after Shadow Ball, he's not in range of a +1 Volcarona hit, so I can't really do anything that's worthwhile to this Hariyama unless I switch back in, because I do have this Psychic on this thing. And so I'm just going to go into my Tapu Fini, which is a very safe play. He knocks off my leftovers, which kind of sucks, but what am I supposed to do? Like, honestly. Now he goes on into his Latios on the Nature's Madness, and here he's going to go for the Gigavolt Havoc, and I'm like, oh boy. And we live that because Precise EVs, max HP, and knock him out with the Moonblast, but now he can go into his Raichu and claim another life with the Volt Switch. Now he's going to go back out into the Hariyama, but I can go into my Gengar, go for the Psychic, get off a lot of damage. I kind of needed to bank on a crit, or just a really high roll into really high roll on my Volcarona. Even then I need to rely on a Rock Slide miss, because obviously this is his Volt counter. I'm going to go for the miss, because that's my game plan, and if he does miss, I potentially win the game here, because Z Bugbuzz could knock out this Hariyama at +1, I think, and then unless the Mega Sharpedo is Jolly, he's not going to be able to outspeed me at +1, so yeah, that's a 50-50 anyways. I could just go for the Quiver Dance on that to protect, but yeah, obviously he's not going to miss the Rock Slide, and he's going to OHKO, and that's going to be the game versus Potato Gym. So once again, we're back in the negative, which is unfortunate, but TBU, man, seems like every single game is luck one way or another. I know I definitely lucked Kyle, really hard, so this is kind of my revenge, but like, the revenge has been going on for several weeks. Can we stop that now? Thanks. Anyways, that is going to be all for me, and I'll see you guys in the next week.